Born on August 19, 1946, Bill Clinton went from dodging military draft to becoming a US president who led his country in its time of need. In today's video, we'll be looking at the life of Bill Clinton, intending to use his life story to inspire young people who may be discouraged about life. We hope this video gives you the courage you need to believe in yourself and pursue your biggest dreams. If you're new here, consider subscribing so that you won't miss other exciting videos like this. As a child, Clinton never knew his father, for he had died in an automobile accident months before Clinton's birth. To earn a living for herself and her son, Clinton's mother left him in the care of his maternal grandparents at home so she could study nursing at New Orleans. Clinton's grandparents prioritized his education, and at the age of 3, Clinton began reading and counting. He also became the lone religious figure in the household and walked a mile to attend church every Sunday. In 1950, Clinton's mother returned from New Orleans and married an automobile salesman named Roger Clinton Sr. He moved the family to Hot Springs, Arkansas. His mother's remarriage resulted in the boy's name change from Williams Jefferson Blythe III to Clinton. Unfortunately, Clinton Sr. was an alcoholic. He often abused Clinton's mother and his half-younger brother, Roger Clinton Jr. Unfortunately, a 14-year-old Clinton finally had enough. He towered over his father, threatening violence, and the abuse stopped. But nothing was ever the same again. Clinton attended an all-white Hot Springs High, despite living in an era of racial segregation. He did not succumb to racism, but instead sought the allure of studying law and being a star student. As a Boys Nation representative elected from Arkansas in 1963, Clinton went on an invitation to the White House, where he met with the then President, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. That same day, Martin Luther's I Have a Dream speech left a more profound impression on Clinton about racial segregation and doing his best to stay above it. A year later, Clinton received a scholarship to Georgetown University to study for a Foreign Service Bachelor degree. He won Student Council President as freshman and sophomore, but his loss in the third year forced him to seek hands on political experience elsewhere, working as an intern and clerk in the office of Arkansas Senator J. William Fulbright. In 1968, Clinton graduated with a Rhodes Scholarship to University College, Oxford, to study politics for 2 years. At the time, Clinton held opposing views of the ongoing Vietnam War, so he dodged a military draft notice to join the Reserve Officers Training Corps (RTC). Later, he would resubmit his name for the draft. Only this time he received a high lottery number, which reduced the likelihood of Clinton getting drafted. In 1971, Clinton attended Yale Law School, where he met and started dating fellow law student Hillary Rodham. Sometime later, Clinton took a job as coordinator of George McGovern's campaign for the 1972 US presidential election. In 1974, Clinton ran for House of Reps, though he lost to Republican incumbent John Paul Hammerschmidt by a narrow margin. Clinton's loss set himself as a rising candidate in the ranks of the Democratic Party in Arkansas. Riding with the support of the Democratic Party, Clinton ran for the Arkansas gubernatorial race in 1978. This time, he defeated incumbent Republican Lynn Lowe to become the second youngest governor of Arkansas at age of 32. Clinton worked on education reform and maintenance of Arkansas roads, while his wife Hillary led a committee on Clinton's urban healthcare reform. However, his 2-year tenure was marred by outrage over tax on vehicle licenses and riots over the escape of detained Cuban in Fort Schaff in 1980. Little surprise how Republican underdog Frank White ousted Clinton in the 1980 election. By this time, the Clinton couple welcomed their first child and daughter, Chelsea Clinton. Clinton realized his tenure failed because of his youth and political inexperience, so he sought to make amends to the people of Arkansas who voted him into office in 1982. During this time, Clinton paced himself carefully with the aid of his wife heading the Arkansas Educational Standard Committee. His reforms improved the Arkansas educational system, so much so history would count these achievements as Clinton's greatest. Other notable achievements included the removal of sales tax for senior citizens buying medication and the appointment of a significant amount of African Americans into significant government positions. In 1987, the Democratic Party experienced an unusual shortage of presidential aspirants, especially when Clinton cleared speculations about his participation. He solidified his stance after endorsing Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis for nomination. Though well-intentioned, his address in 1988 Democratic National Convention was too long and left little to be desired. However, Clinton finally announced his desire to run for the presidency in 1992, and this time he was well prepared. He defeated his fellow aspirants with ease, but he would not find the same ease with his opponent, the Republican incumbent, President John H.W. Bush. Unfortunately, Clinton capitalized on Bush's approval rating, dropping from 80% to 40% after he broke his campaign promise not to raise tax during an economic recession. Of course, the Republicans returned fire upon Clinton's criticism of his opponents, calling him out on his past about dodging military drafts and speculations about him cheating. Throughout the campaign, Clinton defended his ideals. He presented himself alongside Hillary and his daughter Chelsea as a typical American family man, a man who would become the 42nd president of the US on November 3, 1992. Weeks after his 1993 inauguration, the public praised Clinton's signing of the Family and Medical Leave Act that allowed employees to take unpaid leave for pregnancy or a serious medical condition. He signed the North American Free Trade Agreement in law, which made the US economy prosper from recession throughout his tenure. He also cut down taxes to close the budget deficit after the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act of 1993. On the flip side, Clinton failed to pass a healthcare reform bill and was criticized for not sending military presence to quell the Tutsi genocide in Rwanda. Clinton was re-elected for second term, beating Republican Bob Dole in 1996 election. While in office, he founded the Clinton Foundation in 1997 to leave his mark on alleviating poverty, strengthening economies, and protecting the earth from climate change and so on. Too bad, history will remember Clinton's second term for his extramarital affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky. The media called it the Lewinsky scandal of 1998. The scandal let the Republican-dominated House of Reps succeed in impeaching Clinton. However, the US Senate acquitted him, meaning he could stay in office for the remainder of his term. Clinton left the White House with high approval rating since the likes of Franklin Roosevelt and Ronald Reagan. In Clinton's wake, he left the budget surplus going from $69 billion in 1998 to $236 billion in 2000. Despite the Lewinsky scandal, Clinton still believed his presidency had impacted millions of lives for the better, and that was all that mattered. All through his life, Clinton faced adversities, opposition, and many failures, but he refused to back down or give up. This is the kind of attitude you as a young person aiming to succeed should have when faced with challenges. Never give up. Those who keep moving forwards are the ones that succeed in the end.